Hello, Jasmine. How are you? I have your PDF for your work ready here, ready to go. So let's start with the first piece. Now, the first thing I want to mention is that at this point you should be laying your work out in a page layout. So in other words, instead of just showing this piece, show it on a page with other pieces. Do you see what I'm saying? Because we're starting to wrap things up here, and we have to start really thinking about getting this layout going. So if you haven't viewed those two videos I posted this week, please do so. Okay, so first let's talk about this piece. Is this a business card? Is the first thing I'm wondering. There's no written support here, so it's really hard to tell. So I'm guessing that since this is the backside, I'm guessing that this is the business card. So let's talk about this as a business card. I think the first and most obvious thing is that it's not the correct size for a business card. So you can check the size on that and check the size of a standard business card and adhere to that. Also, I want to take a look at this area right here. Now, this is a beautiful technique here, and I'm so glad that you didn't use a drop shadow. It's really such a more interesting technique. It's just more visually interesting to add, maybe an offset, different color typeface like you have here, and even make it more interesting. You stroked this white letter form, this white F. So that's really, really interesting. I'm wondering if this was purposefully or if this was a mistake, but this gets more gradual. By the time we're at the Y, there's hardly any drop at all, like there is on the F. So I'm wondering if that's a mistake. Again, there was no written support, so I'm not clear on that. The only other thing on this is I think that some of your kerning is really wide. I would say in between the J and the A, in between the A and the Z, and between the two Z's, and then right here. And then take a look at these, because you're going to want to close these down a little bit. They're really, really spaced widely. Let's take a look at the next piece. This is the back of the business card, and nothing, just center aligned type. So that's pretty basic. Not much to really say about that. So your letterhead is I think is really interesting because you've taken on this background of the business card. So I'm wondering if the logo has different variations. Is there a version of the logo that we can use on a white background or a black background? Just wondering if the logo is able to be used in other areas. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next piece. So this is where you're starting to develop some identity here by adding a little bit of a color identity with the orange band and drawing the color together. And that's really a nice technique. Oh, sorry. That's a nice technique. My only question here is that why didn't you start this here somewhere so that we can follow this thing throughout the whole campaign as opposed to waiting for, this second piece to introduce this this orange band, because I noticed you use it in other pieces. So if you're going to use it in one, use it in all, or don't use it. It's called repetition, and you really want to think about that. If you're only using something one time in a design, it's really time to start thinking about maybe not using it or using it more. But don't just show something one time. It doesn't, like this presentation here with no orange, where the rest of them do have orange. You see what I'm saying? So think about that. Also, I question this, the color of this. Why is this just placed over the white envelope? I'm not real sure if I understand that. So wouldn't it make more sense to have the whole color, the whole envelope, the color of your logo, like you have on your letterhead? I'm just curious. If that's your choice, that's your choice. I mean, I respect that. If you want to stay with it, I'm trying to draw some things to your attention. So these are things that I would question, or I would actually, I would ask you about if you were sitting in front of me and we're conducting an interview, I would ask you everything I've just mentioned. I would ask you about. Okay, and then this piece right here. Now let's take a look at this piece. This is your invoice, and I want you to think about this for this Foxy Jezebel. So you're designing for a business identity. So that being said, it's a startup company, right? So you are going to be, money is going to be really tight. So you have to repurpose as much as you can. Let me explain what I mean. Let's take a look at this piece right here. Okay, so you have your logo up top, and then you have this address and contact information right below. So effectively, you're kind of isolating this piece only to be a letterhead. So when I design letterheads, I always take not always, depending on the client, but my preference is this, and it's usually a pretty easy when you think about it. I usually take the address and contact information and post it along the bottom. I think it looks more clean, more open, and B, it allows you to repurpose this piece. So in other words, instead of having this piece with all these orange blocks where the first piece you didn't have any orange, and then the last piece you're bombarding us with orange. So you don't need to do all this. If you have a nicely designed letterhead, you can just place your invoice right inside your letterhead. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have to designate a separate design for your invoice. So again, these are your decisions. I'm trying to describe what I'm seeing. Okay. So from here, what would I do? I would go like this. I would say, of course, let's start that out as a business card. This has to be a business card size. If it's a business card, like I said, I'm not real sure if it is. So you reformat that and reformat that just to fit, business card size. And then let's go here. This piece, I would repurpose this, send this down here. So you have the letterhead, the envelope, I would change the background color and just go with this color here. Okay, and your return address is really super large as compared to the rest of you. It's almost as large as your logo. So let's go, and then so if you count your pieces, the letterhead, business card, and envelope are really basically one piece. And I have the assignment requirements right here, so you can see letterhead, business cards, and envelopes are one piece. So here we have a business card, a letterhead, an envelope. That's one piece. Okay, invoice would be another piece. So right now we only have two pieces. Do you see what I'm saying? So we need to pick off this list here, and we need to repurpose some of this, or I'm sorry, redesign some of the Foxy Jezebel pieces to fit, to make sure that you have your 5 items from this list, okay? And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'll be more than glad to help you out a little further. Okay, thanks, Jasmine.